It is draft season, so certainly you are hearing a lot of this. He's a pro-ready, pro-style prospect. He's the prototype that you are looking for. He's blowing up the combine. Big hands. And he had a great pro day. He's a 5-star recruit, and he will be the face of your franchise. He put up big numbers versus top competition. He plays at a powerhouse program. He's everything you want. He's a winner. He's a leader. He has elite work ethic. He even has upside. This guy checks all the boxes. He's smart. He has bravado, moxie. He just has it. If you take nothing else away from this video, take away this one thing. Intangibles don't matter. There is no way to truly qualify them. There is no way to gauge the impact that they have on the game. They fill empty space. They are bias. When you hear them, you should interpret them as one thing. If it is a positive intangible, I like the guy. If it's a negative intangible, I don't like the guy. That is all it means. Don't believe me? All right, let's dispel all those myths. Pro-style offense. There is no such thing in this current landscape of the NFL as a pro-style offense. There are a lot of them. You see Buffalo and Kansas City stealing air raid concepts. People have stolen the mesh from Chip Kelly. You see Arizona running air raid. And on the other side of the coin, you see Bevel, Arians, and a few others running something that's a little old school. Then you have the Shanahan-McVay family tree and all the branches that came off of that. Kids in college are running it right now. And here's the stunning part about that. People are actually using the fact that Zach Wilson and Trey Lance are running a pro-style offense against them in this draft cycle. Throw in whatever Gase is trying to run and whatever you call what Baltimore's running, and you see that there are a lot of different options. All your offensive coordinator's job is to do is to fit one to your quarterback, because pro style is whatever you want it to be. There cannot be a pro style prospect, because pro style is whatever you want it to be. Pro ready is also another term that is very confusing, because 20 years ago that meant rhythm, timing, progressions, being able to run the West Coast offense, being under center, knowing all the footwork and the checks. Not anymore. So much pre-snap motion, so many simplified reads, that pro ready actually now is quarterbacks with the most tools. Tools that can help them survive their mental adjustment. A big arm to salvage the fact that they're behind on their reads. Mobility to buy themselves extra time and create in the pocket. The meaning of pro ready has turned upside down, and people are still using it the old way. As for the prototype you're looking for at quarterback, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. What is the prototype? In this current NFL, we are seeing different size quarterbacks, different styles, different level of mental traits and physical traits. All of them are succeeding. All different types are succeeding. So there is no prototype to look for. And all in all, the combine and pro days, they don't mean anything. Not in comparison to what you see on the field, not in comparison to what actually matters for a quarterback going forward. And we can look at the 5-star recruits as part of that. A 5-star recruit is one of the highest rated players coming out of high school. Well, if we have enough difficulties evaluating which quarterbacks are good when they leave college, why do we think a grade from 3 to 4 years ago matters at all? For example, Trevor Lawrence is a 5-star recruit. Hunter Johnson was also a 5-star recruit. Hunter Johnson came in 1 year before Trevor Lawrence, then got shipped over to Northwestern, and they played 3 different quarterbacks instead of him because he wasn't good. 5-star becomes an arbitrary reference point of where you've come from. Patrick Mahomes, despite being in a pro baseball family, was a 3-star. Deshaun Watson, 4-star. Aaron Rodgers went to a junior college. Russell Wilson was a 3-star recruit and got sent away from North Carolina State because they wanted to move ahead with Mike Glennon. Another thing people like to look into is playing against top competition. And this makes sense. When you play against good competition, you get challenged, right? Not so fast. So if I have a quarterback who plays at Clemson and there are only 3 games on his schedule where his team is at least in the discussion of being the weaker team, Was he challenged? You look for games where quarterbacks get stressed, how they overcome adversity. Being on the best team in the nation can make it so that you don't face adversity. So playing against a good underdog is not something that necessarily should be giving you extra credit. Then comes the characters. The character. He's a winner. He's a leader. He has great work ethic. By the time we get to the NFL draft, these young men have been through 7 years of leadership boot camp. The cream has already risen to the top. The vast majority of the players who don't work, can't lead, don't win, are no longer on the radar. There are 30, 60 quarterbacks in the NFL. There are hundreds in the college ranks. There are thousands trying to be those guys in the high school ranks. And to be honest, questioning a guy's work ethic and leadership, when we're talking about dividing degrees of separation, is insulting. Last year, Justin Herbert, he's too quiet. How'd that work out? The things that Casserly said about Lamar Jackson, how did that work out? But on the flip side, let's look at a quarterback like Baker Mayfield, who has so much leadership, moxie, and bravado that some people say it's too much. And in his second year, when things went wrong and he took punches in the mouth with an offense that wasn't functioning, Baker Mayfield started to doubt himself. As Mike Tyson says, all these things are great until you get punched in the mouth. You know who has great work ethic? Every quarterback whose franchise is happy with them. Every single one, including the backups too, but you won't hear about that because they're not on the field Sunday winning games. I can't stop hearing in Buffalo how Josh Allen has great work ethic and is incredibly smart. Yet it took him until his third season in the league to understand his pre-snap checks. Patrick Mahomes, I didn't hear winner, I didn't hear great leader, I didn't hear work ethic, but yet 1 year was all it took for him. Maybe at this point in time, it's starting to dawn on you that this is all jargon. It doesn't have any tangible meaning. It's an intangible. So I can just say it about anybody and good luck to you disproving it. But it also doesn't matter because we've heard these positives, we've heard these negatives, and we've watched them be wrong consistently. And if we missed one, go down below, put it in the comment section. We want to make sure we cover everything on this because there is a lot of stuff being said that means absolutely nothing. And that's not the way you scout. While you're down there, hit subscribe, ring the bell. In the next weeks, we are going to be going over the 8 areas that we grade for a quarterback. There are 8, and it sounds like a few, but when you break it down the way we break it down, it is actually a ton of what you should expect on Sundays, the things that actually matter, the things that move the needle for a quarterback's success. But right now, we'll cover what we use for the character evaluation of quarterbacks. You ready? It's very in-depth. Does his team like him? Yes. Is he a criminal or an addict? No. Then you've passed. It's time to grade your traits. Because traits matter. Intangibles don't. Now there's one that we haven't covered yet. Upside. Upside is a myth. Upside is an excuse used by people who screwed up their player evaluations. And that happens. We completely missed on Herbert last year. We evaluated him poorly and we ate it because that's what you should do. But that's not what these people typically do. They'll say there's an upside, they'll say there's an excuse, they'll make up something, and they'll make this fable into the actual narrative of what happens with quarterbacks. That's not what's going on. And we've seen polished players who were at their ceiling get even better. And we've seen raw players who have all this upside flop on the floor like a fish out of water and go nowhere. There are a few players who have actually gotten better, but you can easily count them on one hand for the last 25 years at the quarterback position. So if you're looking at a quarterback prospect and you're saying, well, he needs this, he needs this, he needs this, he needs this, but the upside is there, you better move him down your board because that's how busts are made. And for everyone who tells you about a quarterback who reached their upside, one of those is true. 10 of them are a lie. In the coming weeks, We will discuss the 8 traits that matter. We will explain how we grade them and what we look for and how you can look for it yourself to see it. This is a system that we created starting in 2011. The reason it was created in 2011 is because I learned, just like you, how to evaluate quarterbacks until 2011 and 2013, when I realized that what I was told was garbage. It didn't work anymore. It never really did. Yet despite being proven wrong over and over, people have continued on the same track like a broken record, where we looked for the answers. What actually matters? And it has not been perfect. It has not. It has taken a while. But when you call Dak Prescott a starter and have him as the 3rd best quarterback in the draft, when you put Patrick Mahomes 1 and say he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and when you call Dwayne Haskins and Josh Rosen a bust, you're doing something right. So go down below, hit subscribe, ring the bell. And all I ask for is that you greet it with an open mind. It's going to be very different from what you hear a lot of people telling you. But think about it. And maybe you'll find yourself sitting there thinking, wait, this makes sense. But if you take one thing away from today, intangibles don't matter. Love you guys. We need you. Stay strong, and I'll see you on the other side.